Hi guys, Master Mackman here doing a student tip of the week. This week I want to talk about how to teach your child to be an includer. So this is a big one for me. There's nothing more disappointing or upsetting when you hear a child is not getting included at school or on the playground. Sometimes I'll get some of our students come up to me and say that they're playing with a bunch of their friends and they left them out of a game and they were sad and they were by themselves, and that's never a good thing. That's never a good feeling, and we've all been through that. So I want to kind of talk about how to, a lot of times we want to address the problem of our kid getting excluded, but how about we kind of reverse the role and think about how can we make our child to be the includer. So it was kind of about thinking about how to change the mindset. So a lot of this goes to bullying. So it's important to talk to your kids about relational aggression. Relational aggression is anything that has to do with like gossiping, rumor spreading, alliance building. So some kids will do like alliance building as far as they'll make their own clubs, and the boy-girl club, you're not cool enough to be in my club, that kind of stuff. And public humiliation, so just as far as calling somebody out, is never a good thing for kids at that age, and it's always hurtful. So it's not enough just to teach your kids what not to do. So as far as you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, it's important to teach them what to do. So it's important for us to promote being kind and showing compassion to other people. So that's one big thing too. If you show that yourself and other people, then your kids will end up following that as well. So that's a big thing, to lead by an example. So one big thing too I want to talk about is empowering your kids. So empower your kids to be includers. So empower your kids to actually go out and take the time to include people. And here's 3 big ways to help do that. One is to listen and empathize. So especially if your child does get in that situation where they don't get included into a group, or they get left out of a game, or they get picked onto a team, listen to them, empathize with your kid. Actually sit there and talk to them and be like, man, I know that must be really upsetting not to be able to be part of this team. I know this probably hurts your feelings a lot. This is a big thing to teach them, to actually learn how to empathize. So if you do it with them, then they are more likely to do it with other kids. And kind of one of those things, if they see a child in need or they got left out, that they'll be able to go talk to them and be like, man, I know that's really upsetting that you weren't able to be part of the group, but how about we go do something on our own? So that's a good way to kind of set the example, set the tone for them. The next one is to be the includer. So for example, this is one big thing for us. I noticed that I do this myself. A lot of times we're in like an awkward situation, or we go into a grocery store, or we're sitting there waiting for our food in the waiting area, and there's a lot of different conversations going around. We might be indulged in our phone just to kind of avoid the situation or avoid having to talk to other people. Well, kids pick up to that, and it kind of sends them a mixed message of not being able to actually engage in conversations. So that's a big one, is just to be able to strike up conversations to just normal random people, just somebody at the grocery store, somebody waiting in line. That's a big thing that our kids can see us do, and it will help them in return to be able to mimic that in their social settings as well. So just that kind of sets up a good tone for them to be an includer. The next one is to teach them to look for somebody who needs a friend. So kind of look at being on the other side of the ball. Have them look at how you felt when somebody didn't sit by you at lunch, or how you felt when you didn't get put into this team or get picked to be on your friend's team. That's a big one, just to kind of have our kids recognize the kid that is on the outside, that is sitting on the bench or sitting by themselves at lunch. Especially younger kids are such in routines, and they get used to sitting at the same lunch table, they get used to playing with the same friends, but getting them to actually teach them to span out and reach out and show a little bit of kindness and compassion to other kids. Maybe the kid down the street that doesn't always play baseball with them, maybe you can go down there and ask them to ride their bike with it. And that also helps your kid. If they get a chance that they get excluded, at least they know how to go make other friends. And in return, those people that are on the outside that are getting included, your child is being the includer and is including them, and they get to meet more friends. I would say, as far as experience, I think martial arts has always helped me to be an includer, because we're always a team here, and I've never been afraid to talk to kids or talk to other kids or other students, just because I've been teaching for such a long time and at such a young age, especially from leadership team on, that I had those skills when I went into middle school and into high school, that in those situations I've learned that In high school, I was friends with everybody, and that's one of those big things that I never wanted to exclude somebody out. If I saw somebody sitting by themselves, or you had the lunch table that only had 2 or 3 people there that nobody wanted to talk to, I had no problem going over there talking to them. And to this day, they're some of my really good friends. And I will say in high school, I kind of broke that little cliquish regime just because I was taught that very early, that being in cliques and isolating people is not a good thing. So I hope you encourage your kids at a young age to do that, so as they get older, they'll have more friends, they'll have healthier relationships, and they'll just have a better quality of life. Hope this tip helps, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Take care.